Hello there, everybody. My name is Darkbrine, and today we're doing something a little different than usual. We're going to be doing a little bit of a tier list, so to speak, for Pokemon starters. Now, you can see that there's a Blastoise down here, but my main goal for starters is to focus on just the starters, not their later evolutions, not their later designs, just their base designs and my personal experience with them and how I think they look, how I think they function, all that sort of stuff. I will say everyone is unique, and there are only some I like less than others. But other than that, I think we should go ahead and get on with the video. So first up, we got Bulbasaur here. Bulbasaur's a nice looking Pokemon. He's a little bit of like a frog looking creature compared to he's not as frog like, say, the, you know, Froakie over here, but, he's still got the similar functions. He's also somewhat of a plant. And if I'm being honest, I actually liked his design originally, and I considered him one of my favorites of the starters. I always use Charmander more, not gonna lie myself, because of how it's a fire type, and at the time, the only weakness for the fire types were really just the psychic typing and the rock typing, but other than that, even ground barely stood a chance. At the same time, I always took an interest in Bulbasaur after a little while, mainly due to the grass poison typing. Yeah, it made it a little bit weaker, but overall, it wasn't too bad. So, I wouldn't put him in S tier, I wouldn't put him A tier, I would put him in a nice B tier. Because, even though he's one of my favorites of the starters, he's still got some flaws to him, and he's still got some issues going on. But I think overall, he's a good guy. Squirtle, not as much as, Bulbasaur, but I still like him a little bit more than I do Charmander in the end. I wouldn't put him at C tier. Again, I also put him at B tier, if only lesser than Bulbasaur, only due to the fact that I think my main disliking for him just comes from his head. That's pretty much it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a shiny, bald person, and if you really compare it to, say, his final evolution, Blastoise, I wouldn't compare it too much, but I think the Blastoise has, like, nicer looking head and a bit better toughness going on for him. Squirtle, he's cute, he's charming, and if you're I'm trying not to compare him to his other evolutions. Like, overall, he's got a cute design, he's got a nice function to him. It's just that he doesn't have that tough personality that I think his later evolutions does. Even in the anime, he's supposed to be represented tough, but I can't see it even after he got the glasses. And I'm not trying to do anime at all. Like, anime, ugh. It's just my impressions on Squirtle wasn't that hard. Now, Charmander, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm literally going to get a lot of flack for this. But C tier. Like, I can't hate Charmander. He's expressive. He's nice. But at the same time, my experiences with him after, that first generation, it's just dwindled quite a bit. And I can't say I enjoy him as much as Squirtle or Bulbasaur. Now we're going to the Let's Go Pokemon starters, which I have not played Let's Go. I do not plan on playing Let's Go or Sword and Shield, which, by the way, Sword and Shield stars are not on here. I haven't had much of experience with them. I can just tell you right now they won't be ranked, and I'm trying to prevent anything from that. But Pikachu, he's definitely also a C tier. Like, I'm sorry, but he's a mascot of Pokemon. He's highly overused in my opinion. Like, that's just me, though. And honestly, I've never had any good luck with Pikachu at all whatsoever. Eevee, on the other hand, solid S tier. Like, good looking Pokemon, cute design, intentionally meant to be cute and overall looking, even in the final evolutions. Again, I'm comparing evolutions again, and I'm sorry for that. Trying not to. But I think overall, it had a better design compared to most of the other starters in that area. And not only that, but I think get some of the most adorable sounds. Seriously, it does. I'm not joking compared to other Pokemon. Even in the anime, it's got a wee sort of deal. And I thought it was just cute and cuddly and makes me want to pet it. Makes me want to have an Eevee, Raise it up and train it. Alright, now moving on to the Johto starters, aka Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil. Chikorita, not my favorite, and I will be honest, I do think its design is a little bland. just a little bland, not that much. However, my experiences with Chikorita as a whole during Johto, it was fantastic. Like, I thought it was a good starter, it had a lot of good potentials, it was a good tank, and overall, it was probably one of the better choices in my opinion. It's definitely an A tier for me. Like, it's better than Bulbasaur, it's better than Squirtle, but I don't consider it as highly as Eevee. Like, that's just me, though. Totodile, I'm gonna get a whole lot of flack for this, but D tier. Like, I've not had anything good with Totodile. Like, I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. He's meant to be ferocious, according to the creators, and yet he just comes off as goofy. And I like goofy designs, but I just don't think it fits Totodile, personally. If he was a little more fierce in design and he wasn't as playful and cheerful, I could bump him up the C tier, but still be under Pikachu. But other than that, I cannot consider highly of him. And as for Cyndaquil, definitely S tier. Like, yeah, he's charming, he's nice. He considers a good playful expression, which even then, trying to avoid the other evolutions, I think it's what they were meant to go for. And the back of it being, all heated and explosive, when it's angry or cheerful, just shows how, temperament the emotions can be. And not only that, is when it's calm, serene, in a protective state, well, not protected state, but in a protected state, the flame goes away, and it's, a very warm and soothing to touch down there, touch on the back from what we get told of. And honestly, I'm trying to rate them based on both designs and what they would do as an actual function. And not only that, it's a good offensive Pokemon. Like, no joke, if you were to use it as an offensive Pokemon for, like, the start baby Pokemon, it's a good choice for you if you want to do that. Now, moving on to the next ones, Treecko. I always liked Treecko's later evolutions. Treecko himself, however, I don't like or dislike. I just mildly. I'm just mild on it. I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I think it's definitely above Squirtle in the terms of the design department. It's meant to be a tree frog, and I do actually like that little fact about it. Tree frog? Oh, I think it's a tree frog. I don't exactly remember. Anyways, no. I think overall, it looks neater than Squirtle. And I do think it's better than any of the ones currently in C and D tier. But I don't consider him as highly as, like, Bulbasaur or anything. He's just that exact middle Pokemon for me. I don't like him. I don't hate him. I think it's a sleek design, and nothing more. Mudkip, personally, not an A tier for me. In fact, I'm probably going to get a lot more hate for Mudkip, but I consider him the highest of C tier. Now, hear me out here. I just don't exceed the liking that Mudkip has, and I think overall it's It ain't good, but it ain't bad. Design's alright, but I think overall it's just I've not really had anything pleasant to experience with him. And even then, I personally would think that people would want the later evolutions only due to the fact of the ground typing. Now, if Mudkip was water ground, I'd probably bump him up more to a higher B tier, only due to the fact that he'd be more strategic in the games, and not only that, he'd be the other second dual typing we have for starters, Bulbasaur being the first one, and Mudkip would be the second one. However, I just think that as it currently stands, Mudkip both on a... You know what? No, I think C tier's a little... You know what? I'm going to bump him up to at least a B tier, because I think... I don't hate him that much. I do like Mudkip. I just don't think out of every other Pokemon above right now, or will be above, I don't think he's as good. Like, that's just me personally. I've not had many pleasant experiences, but I haven't had many bad experiences. Most of them have just been neutral. That's just what B tier is meant to stand for, neutral Pokemon. Torchic, straight up D tier. Like, I'm sorry, but even with the final evolution, I'm sorry again about evolutions. I keep apologizing for that and then stop. But I just never had anything pleasant with Torchic, just like with Totodile. Now, do I think it's worse than Totodile? Actually, no. I think Torchic is not worse than Totodile, and as far as experiences go, I've had some better experiences with Torchic than I did Totodile. But other than that, I don't really have much love for Torchic or much understanding for why people would like Torchic. That's just me, though. Turtwig. Out of everybody, the Sinistars, I definitely would consider him an A tier. Not as good as Chikorita, in my opinion, but I considered him as good, at least a little under Chikorita, because Turtwig, first of all, he's a nice little guy. Look at that face. You can't say no to a face like that. And second of all, he's just a nice. I think he's just a nice little dude, and he's like caring and compassionate to what we're portrayed to on Turtwig, and he has more of a personality in the Sinnoh Starter areas, aside from one other Pokemon in the Sinnoh Starters, which Piplup, straight up S tier, man. I don't think they're better than Cyndaquil, but I think Cyndaquil and Piplup are neck and neck to each other. Cyndaquil and Piplup are like good buddies. Piplup is like, I guess you could say he's similar to Oshawott in the sense he's brave, he's caring, he likes to go after women like Brock in a way. Sorry, Brock comparison, but I know. Other than that, though, I can't see anything to dislike about Piplup. He's a penguin. He's very nice, and not only that, he's... I did say nice multiple times. I just can't see much reason to hate him. Like, I don't see any reason to hate him. I don't see what's flawed about him. I don't see what's disliking about him. My experiences with Piplup were amazing. And yeah, Chimchar... He's just straight up DT. No, hold on. No, I can't do this. I can't do this to Totodile and Torchic. Like, I'm sorry, but no. Just gonna add row below. We're gonna change it to a nice, bleak. No, not that. I meant to keep that, like, the normal. And I'm gonna change this to a nice bleak, dark color. I'm gonna say straight up trash. Just straight up trash. I'm sorry, but no, I've never had any good experience with Chimchar. I've never liked Chimchar. I've never seen anything good about Chimchar. And I think design-wise, I can't tell if he's meant to be a monkey, if he's meant to be an ape. It's conflicting in my mind, and I hate it. I hate Chimchar so much. I don't see what there is to love about it, or like about it. I'm sorry. And if we're going to continue the straight up trash one, Rowlet as well. Like, I'm going to just go ahead and say right now, just not to make everyone mad, but I wouldn't say he's as bad as Chimchar, but Rowlet, I have never had any good experience with him. I think out of every Pokemon he was represented in, it's just, I don't see what's to enjoy about it. And I know he's meant to be, he's got the design feature of being an owl, which I think is better than Chimchar's conflicting design. But it's so bland, and I don't think it represents grass type as well as, all the other grass types. I'm sorry, I just don't like those Pokemon. Those are the only Pokemon that'll be in the straight up trash tier. For me. Snivy, straight up S tier. I'm going to put it higher than Eevee. Like, Snivy, I don't know what's with Gen 5 in general, but I love Generation 5, and I loved more Pokemon in Generation 5 than anything else. And it's just Gen 5 left a huge impact on me. And since Snivy was one of my first Pokemon to ever play out during the Generation 5 games, he's also left a great impact on me. And I can't see hide nor hair of why he would be anywhere lower than S tier. That is me, and me personally. Snivy is one of the best. Like, I just think it's one of the best. Oshawott, also, I would put him at A tier. Not, actually, no, better than Chikorita. Like, not as good as Piplup. Like, he's like that smidgen below. What I like more about Piplup is the fact that they're both the same kind of design if you think about it. But I think Piplup has the higher fact of just being the first one, and Oshawott, I see more Piplup in him. But at the same time, the shell chop concept was also amazing, and I love that fact as well. And I think Piplup, with the beak, being a little extensive. Like, compared to other Pokemon I've seen so far, which just their beaks stay normal when it comes to, like, Drill Peck or Peck or anything like that. I just think that, the Shell Chop concept also came from the little beak concept that he had. Like I said, Oshawott that smidgen below away from S tier, but I'm still considering right there. Now, Tepig is the only starter in the Gen 5 that I'm going to go ahead and put right over here. And I'm not going to say as low as lower than Pikachu, but I will say he's not as high as Charmander. Tepig, I haven't had many bad experiences, but I think out of all of it so far, it's the weakest link of the group. Like, I don't hate Tepig. I literally don't hate him. I think he's a fun, cheerful Pokemon. I think his design fits very well with even the later evolutions. Again, I'm not going to apologize, but again, the later evolutions, I should probably start talking about more of them. If I were to do that, though, it'd be more unrating fairly to some of the Pokemon I like more, because I like their starters, but probably some of their later evolutions. And honestly, I think just Tepig, overall, like, even though it has a good design, it has a good concept and all that, it's tepid, like, it's lukewarm. I'm sorry, but, like, that's the pun it's used for. I just can't see what's to exactly put him above everything else, like, compared to the other Pokemon and what I'm going off of. Moving on to the Gen 6 Pokemon now, I'm going to go ahead and say Chespin. Why do you guys do this to me? Like, it's all white there. Look at that, it's all white. But no, I'm putting Chespin above Turtwig. Like, honestly, I thought Chespin was a great Pokemon. My experiences with Chespin have been a good time so far, especially within Pixelmon. Like, I've been playing Chespin more with Pixelmon, and my goodness, Chespin's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. And I think overall, he had a great design, he had great concepts. He's sort of a mixture of a tank attack, and honestly, I have a bit of a bias towards tank attacking Pokemon, thanks to Dragon Quest IX, with my tank being one of the best things I've seen so far, and he was a mixture attacker too, so I think I kind of got a bias from that from Dragon Quest IX, but other than that, I mean, he's also, a little what's it called? I don't know what to call it. Anyways, I think just Chespin overall looks great. I don't know what animal he is personally. I would say squirrel? I'd say squirrel, most likely. I'm sorry if I got that wrong at all. But I think overall he's nice. Like I just think he's a good Pokemon. I think he's good mixture of what he was supposed to represent. And I think his cheerful attitude also represents him well, compared to, say, Tepig or Charmander or Squirtle or Totodile. I just think it's better fitting overall. Froakie. Time for more hate. Put him right there. Froakie, he's a smidgen below C tier. Like, I don't like his design. Out of every single design, his design is one of the only few I don't like. But at the same time, the Froebel's concept was also pretty cool. And I think that his move pool is decent. What makes him below C tier, though, is that I don't like him in general, and my experiences, again, most of them, my experiences of him are terrible. Like, I've never had any good luck with Froakie, and I think I blame myself more for that than I do, like, the actual people behind Pokemon, Game Freak. But I just can't see what there is to enjoy about Froakie other than his Froebel's concept. Like, I'm sorry. I don't consider him as bad as Torchic, though. I don't consider him as bad as Totodile. I think the only reason he's below C tier is, like, I think my main concern is that I liked him having the Froebels over the head. And that's pretty much what I liked more about it. If he had that, he'd probably be below Pikachu in the C tier. But right now, he's just below Pikachu in the D tier. Fennekin, also a pretty good Pokemon. I think the weakest of this S tier I'm going to put in. But I don't understand why people just call it furry bait and be on with it. Like, I get it. there's gonna be a furry bait Pokemon in each group, to be honest. Snivy, don't consider it, but I think Oshawott was supposed to be more to that alignment. Fennekin was supposed to be more to that alignment. I think in the Sinnoh starters, it'd be Piplup. As for Gen 3, I think it'd be more Mudkip, honestly. Actually, no, I'd definitely be Torchic in that group. And for Johto, I'd say it'd be more Cyndaquil. And then as for, Kanto, if we were going just the original 3, I wouldn't say any of them would be that, but if we were to add on the rest of them, I definitely think Pikachu and Eevee are in that group. Sorry for that little lecture, but I don't understand why people use that argument to dislike on Fennekin. Fennekin, in general, is a good physical attacker, and does learn Psychic-type moves later on, sort of like Vulpix. And honestly, I thought it was just a neat little thing to put onto a Pokemon, and it's not as bland as people want to say. Like, could it be better design-wise? Yes, it could be, but I think overall, it's already got a good design, and I don't see why people wouldn't dislike it. Okay, that's just me, though. I don't see the hate or disliking to it. Moving on, Popplio, he's my favorite of the... He or she, I don't know what we would consider. I think they're my favorite in the Alola group. However, C tier. No, B tier. Like, definitely not... You know what? Higher than Squirtle, but not higher than Treecko. I don't know what makes me dislike this Pokemon. Like, I've not had any bad experience with it. I don't know what makes me dislike it. Like, there's something I can't say that makes me dislike it, and I just don't know what it is. I can't find the wording to it. I think, overall, I don't know. I can't see what makes me dislike it as much as I do. I don't know. And Linen, like, it honestly looks plain and basic. I'd put it at B tier, but definitely on that smidgen to C tier. I don't know. Like, with Popplio, I'm so conflicted on that I don't know where to put it exactly. But other than just, like, that one feeling, I can't understand what I dislike about it. I think overall it's not as good. Like, oh, that's just about it, though. Well, there's my tier list so far, guys. Well, not so far, but there's my tier list for all the starter Pokemon. I won't do final evolutions yet. I do want to try to do the evolutions to the starters first, then the final evolutions to starters before I do anything else. But yeah, I mean, if you guys disagree with me on some and agree with me on others, then please let me know below, or just, let me know in general. I want to see what makes you guys, like more Pokemon than the others. I just don't know. Oh, sorry, yawn. Like, I can't. Ugh. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. I hope you guys at least find this decent compared to some of our tier lists. And I hope you do enjoy watching future videos, or have watched videos in the past and enjoy those. If you do stick around with me, I am trying to get a better upload schedule going on, and better uploads in general, as well as learn editing. So, without further ado, I will see you guys later. Ta-ta!